Why is it that with an entire catalog of fantastic beasts to choose from, the Hogwarts Founders chose these as their mascots? Why hello there, you Loyal Potterheads, and welcome to the Half-Blood YouTuber channel, where today I am going to answer just that. And make sure to stick around for a bonus theory answering the age-old question, how exactly do you destroy the Sword of Gryffindor? Without further ado, it is time to be extraordinary. Just from looking at the Hogwarts house traits alone, you might not necessarily think that there's a correlation between them, you know what I mean? Gryffindor values bravery, daring, and chivalry. Slytherin values cunning, ambition, and resourcefulness. Ravenclaw is wisdom, intellect, and wit beyond measure because apparently it is man's greatest treasure, and Hufflepuff, the best house because I'm biased and I embrace it, values hard work, loyalty, and justice. Well, I can tell you this. There is a correlation between them, and it is humility. And actually, if you look closely at what each of these traits are talking about, it actually does make quite a lot of sense. Except for Slytherin, and I will get to that later, because he does fit into this theory just in a different way from the rest of the founders. One of Gryffindor's traits is chivalry, and one of the main parts of chivalry is helping out the weak. You put others before yourself, and that you recognize that you are not the center of the universe. For Ravenclaw, which values knowledge and intellect, Socrates once said that true knowledge is knowing that we know nothing. By that logic, knowledge is really just a means for personal growth. There is always something we don't know, and by the same logic, there is always something that we can know. For Hufflepuff, we have loyalty, which is quite literally the epitome of recognizing that you are not the center of the universe. Need I say more? No. And this idea of humility also fits in very well with most of the founders' lives too. Gryffindor was described as a man ahead of his time, mostly for his work against Muggle discrimination back when, as I said before, it was not necessarily the trendiest thing to be advocating for Muggle rights. Ravenclaw, as I said before, she was constantly in search of new knowledge, constantly in search of being able to learn new things, and specifically created the Diadem of Ravenclaw to help her achieve that goal quicker and better. She was constantly trying to improve herself so that she could be a better person. Hufflepuff, I mean, just blatantly obviously, you know, like, she said that she'll teach the lot, acknowledging that really all of the students that they were teaching were one and the same. Nobody was greater than the other. They all had their own strengths and their own weaknesses. She wasn't necessarily wanting to discriminate against any of them based off of their character. She recognized that all of them were great in their own respective ways. Slytherin chose a non-magical creature for a sort of different reason. If we look at his house traits, he believed in cunning, resourcefulness, and ambition. Specifically that cunning part. Snakes are the epitome of cunning. In the Torah, or the Jewish Bible, the snake was the creature that tricked Adam and Chava into biting an apple from the tree of knowledge, thereby sealing their fate out of the Garden of Eden and having to till their own soil. And also, if we just look at the whole Chamber of Secrets thing, it was a very meticulously planned out trap hiding a giant snake in a way that nobody really knew about it. He valued a plan that could go under everybody's radar. He valued a creature that's going to try and sneak under your radar if it wants to attack you because it knows it can't handle you itself. Now let's get on to how to destroy the Sword of Gryffindor. The Sword of Gryffindor. There was one particular scene from Chamber of Secrets that really piqued my interest on this particular topic. Harry stabbed the basilisk with the sword, thereby killing it and also absorbing the basilisk venom into the Sword of Gryffindor. Allow me for 1 second to read this short little paragraph about the Sword of Gryffindor's properties. As Goblin Silver, it imbibes only substances which strengthens it, which can then be used against enemies. This means that it never requires cleaning. Due to Harry Potter killing Salazar Slytherin's basilisk with it, the sword is imbued with basilisk venom and can destroy Horcruxes. And this got me curious all of a sudden, thinking, hypothetically, what if the Sword of Gryffindor was made a Horcrux by Voldemort? Obviously, it wouldn't have been able to be destroyed, but then that also got me thinking about what if it had become a Horcrux and then Harry tried to kill the basilisk with it. If basilisk venom can destroy a Horcrux, and as Harry kills the basilisk it would absorb the venom, wouldn't that essentially have a conflict of absorption, right? Because the Horcrux is inside the sword, but the sword is also trying to absorb the venom so that it can become stronger. But those two things can't coexist because they're just going to destroy each other. Let's say you try to absorb Phoenix Tears into the Sword of Gryffindor after it had absorbed the basilisk venom. It would just eat itself apart, right? Because it's trying to absorb two things, both of which will make it stronger, but both of which cannot coexist together. And let's say you keep doing that, putting in more venoms, more poisons, more antidotes. It's trying to absorb multiple things that cannot coexist within one vessel, and would therefore destroy the vessel that is trying to absorb both things. That's how I think you would destroy the Sword of Gryffindor. Let me know down in the Patronus section if you agree with that. And that's it for the video. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to demolish the like button for the YouTube algorithm, because in all seriousness, it really does help out the channel. What are your thoughts on this video? Do you think that the Sword of Gryffindor can be destroyed? Do you think that this is why the Hogwarts Founders chose non-magical mascots? Or if you don't, why do you think they did? Make sure to leave all of your thoughts along with the 3 C's, comments, constructive criticism, and conversation, in the Patronus section down below. As always, remember to subscribe, firstly to join the extraordinary Loyal Potterhead community, and also for more totally tubular Harry Potter content in the future, and make sure to ring the notification bell to stay uploaded on said totally tubular Harry Potter content. And last but not least, a new thing I'm doing for theories, I'm going to have a section down in the description down below, which is going to be labeled Am I an Idiot?, where you can find all of the links to the sources I use to create these two theories, and you can check them out for yourself to determine if, like crack, I too am whack. But that's all for now, so stay extraordinary, you Loyal Potterheads. Peace.